Good afternoon. We want to talk with you today about your resonance, or what it is that is your attractive point between you and the universe. We think it's important that we discuss this a little bit because sometimes a human forgets how creation really happens, you see. You have this focus, this wonderful focus, and when you put it upon something long enough, you start to attract circumstances and situations into your experience that make you believe that you are the creator that you are. And then things start to show up in form to be evidence of that or proof of that, you see. We have all varieties of people that we talk with from all over the world, and they have many different concerns or interests, you see. Sometimes we will get a human that thinks as though they have been possessed or some evil spirit has somehow taken hold of them that they have no control over, you see. And we're here today to soothe you a little bit in regard to such things. We're never going to tell you that a thought form doesn't happen and that then form doesn't follow. But we're also going to tell you that unless you're following that thought form in the way you're thinking, it's not going to be a bearing or have an effect upon you, you see. Unfortunately, a human on this contrasting plan can encounter many things. They can become sick. They can become mentally ill. They can become many different things that would affect their vibratory level or lower the level, you see. And then what happens is they start to resonate or line up with other streams of consciousness which have been thought about in fear, in angst, in worry by all other humans who are experiencing life on the earth plane, you see. And once this happens, then you start to get evidence through the thoughts that you're thinking. Maybe I am possessed. My behavior has been really terrible. Yes, I have beaten someone up. I have acted in ways that are not like me. I can hear speaking in my head or whatever else we have heard from humans. And we're not poo-pooing it. We're not saying that it hasn't happened or that you haven't felt it. But we want you to know that to some degree you're the creator of it, you see. In the lower vibratory state that you find yourself in, you have become in alignment to that which you are afraid of or fearful of. And that is also what someone else has been afraid of or fearful of. And it is how this thing got created to begin with. Creation happens in all different ways. It happens in wonderful, beautiful, loving ways, and it happens in ugly and evil and not so beautiful ways, you see. But every single time that we talk to a human that we feel is in a downtrodden state, if they are depressed, if they are feeling this way, we tell them that the only way that we can bring them out of this is we have to go to a bucket or somewhere in their life, and we want to hear about something that they love. We want to hear whether they love to sing, whether they love to dance, if there's people they love to be with. Is there something somewhere in your life that you can go to that feels good, that you don't have to be in fear about or have angst about, you see? Well, most all of them, if not all of them, we would tell you, have a nice place that they could go. And if they would hold their focus on this point long enough, they would start to rise out of the stream of consciousness that they have found themselves in that they're not liking. And all different things would start to come to them that are to their liking, you see. So we don't want you to live on the earth plane afraid or fearful because you have anxiety or afraid you're going to be possessed by an evil spirit or whatever else it is that you are worried about. We want you to know that you have the control over it. When you start feeling your vibratory level going dangerously low and you're becoming depressed and your behavior isn't what you would like it to be, we want you to find that bucket, that place inside yourself that you can find value, that you can love, that you can enjoy, and that you can put your focus on. And when you do this, the universe will now reflect this back to you. It will move you away from this negative place or point that you have found yourself in, you see. The resonance of a human varies greatly from one to the other, based upon the level of fear, what it is they fear, how long they fear it, what their relatives feared, how they viewed that. There are so many things that play into what would be a connecting point for you. It's almost impossible to figure it out exactly where it came from. But make no mistake about it, when you start receiving in your mind thoughts and feelings that are, let's use the example, worrisome about health, make no mistake about it. Your resonance is headed or near a place where you could be unhealthy, you see. And the reason you are having the thoughts and feelings that you are having in regard to health, in needing testing, in having to eat better, in having to do this or do that in order to be okay, it's because your resonance is calling you towards that because you are getting out of balance. You are starting to enter in or get near the place of unwellness, you see. It's why you're having the feeling you're having. But if you would take your focus not onto the fear, but away from the fear to someplace that feels good, to some place in your life that you concretely and believingly can know that you can feel good there, that this is true. I have a great relationship with my daughter. I love the work that I do. I love to sing in the choir. Whatever it is that you love, this is where you shift or move your focus to. And this is what will be the universe is primarily receiving. You are doing this in a very determined and pointed way. You are deciding, you are being the master. You are picking and choosing the vibratory level that you are sending out to the universe to return on, instead of just going in fear, which was based upon a setback perhaps that you had, whether it was financially or mentally or physically. Whatever it is that you have encountered has caused your vibratory level to dip, and now you are privy to all kinds of other humans who have had similar experiences and deposited them into all that is. Now you're dipping into that pot, you see. We talk about the universe that is you, that is yours. This is the one we're talking about, the one that you decide, the one that you actually pick. I love this about myself. I love my sister. Yes, I love to dance. I love to sing. This is your universe. This is you deliberately picking and adding to your universe and then getting behind the emotion and feeling that you are sending out. And now the universe is returning to you individually, you as an individual sovereign being. That's mastery. But when one starts not feeling good for whatever reason, and when one becomes the tool, the human, unconsciously doesn't recognize it and goes down the path of fear and angst and worry and being broke and sick and everything else that you can imagine, now you're out in the masses. What have they put there? All kinds of stuff we would tell you, and lots of it that you're not going to want, you see. We just gave you the tools to get out of it. Find a point, a focal point, and then add that to your universe and let that be the resonance that it receives and returns to you. You see, you have this ability. You have this right in your free will. You have this power, you see. This is where it is. When you go into the masses, when you go into fear and negativity and you allow yourself to dip down low in that mentality, now you're vulnerable. Now you're full of angst and worry and fear, as you well should be, because you're not creating your experience anymore. You're at the mercy of what anyone else has suffered or gone through, you see, and you're agreeing to it in the low level that you're maintaining. We hope that you get this with the love and the well intention that we are sending it. You are the master, the creator. There's nothing out there that you need to be afraid of. We're not going to tell you that there's no evil, that there's no negativity, that there's no thought forms that are deposited in the mass conscious that you're not going to like. They're there. We will agree to you that they are there, but you don't have to have them be part of your universe. You can decide what it is you will focus on. You can decide what it is that you're going to deposit in your personal universe and let that be the emanation point or the resonance that is you. That's how the universe will find you, you see. Don't let the universe find you in everybody else's crap, everybody else's fear and angst and worry and sickness. There's a lot of difference between the third reality and the fourth level of reality and the fifth level. And let us tell you what they are. In the 3D reality, you're vulnerable, you're angst, you're worried, you're afraid. You don't know that you're the creator that you are. But as you start to move into the 4D reality, you can actually affect your physical apparatus. You can start to heal yourself. You can start to mentally feel better. You can start to realize, I have some power, you see. And by the time you hit the fifth dimension, and that's coming, we would tell you, it's going to be a grand day for those that shift their consciousness to this level, because this is the level of love. This is the level of all that is. This is the highest vibratory level that is available to you. When you do this, you're aligned to all that is. Manifestation will be almost immediate. You'll have a thought about something you're wanting and it'll appear in your driveway almost the next day, you see. This is what is happening. This is what's coming. This is what you have to look forward to. But you have to understand that in order for one to experience this kind of mastery, you have to know what you're doing. You have to pay attention. You have to deliberately choose. You have to move yourself up that ladder of mastery by choosing, not by becoming the tool, not by telling us what is and justifying what is by what you don't like and what you see in your form, which is yesterday's news we have told you, by deliberately creating, by deliberately, honestly, and authentically saying, I can really say, I love this in my life. Certainly everyone has something that they can focus on that they love. When you find yourself fearful, when you find yourself sick, when you find yourself afraid, this is your go-to point. And put all your focus on it and let the universe deliver to you as a sovereign being, independent of what the masses are doing. This is mastery. Mastery doesn't not suffer, but mastery does not become the sufferer. It chooses. When it feels suffering, it chooses something else to focus on. That's as easy as we can make it. Good day.